Good morning. I have a story this morning about Jasper and his beanstalk because this week we're thinking a lot about beans and how they grow into beanstalks, and there are lots of ideas for activities on the website. There's a very well-known story about beanstalks which is called Jack and the Beanstalk, so don't forget to have a look at one of the versions of that story as well. But this story is about a cat called Jasper. You can see his name in the title, Jasper. Jasper's Beanstalk. So there's the title at the top, and you can see Jasper. He's got lots of tools, lots of equipment that he might need to help look after his bean. And at the bottom, we have the author and the illustrator, Nick Butterworth and Mick Inkpen. Jasper's Beanstalk. And here you can see Jasper is reading. He's reading a book with his friend the robin. We saw a robin in the story we had a few days ago about My Pet Star. Now this little robin and Jasper are looking at a book together. And if you look very closely, the book they are reading is Jack and the Beanstalk. So maybe that's giving Jasper some ideas about beans and beanstalks. Here you can see the robin flying off. Can you see the robin's lovely red breast? And then the lovely brown wings are spread out so the robin can fly. And here you can see Jasper sitting down, and the robin has come down to perch on the end of his toes. We can see the title again here, Jasper's Beanstalk by Nick Butterworth and Mick Inkpen. On Monday, Jasper found a bean. You can see here the B for bean. So on Monday, Jasper found a bean. And there you can see Jasper's holding the bean, just like this one. It's a bean that I've got in my house. On Monday, Jasper found the bean, found the bean, found the bean. On Monday, Jasper found the bean, he found the bean. On Tuesday, he planted it. So you can see here how he's planting it. He's using his trowel. He's dug a hole in the soil. He's put a stick, a cane up that can support the bean if it needs supporting as it grows. And then the bean, he's dropping down, 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 down into the soil. And then he's going to cover it up so that it's ready to grow underneath the ground. On Tuesday, he planted the bean, planted the bean, planted the bean. On Tuesday, he planted the bean, he planted it. On Wednesday, he watered it. We've got two W's there on Wednesday and watered. So on Wednesday, he watered it because one of the things that plants need to grow is they need some water. And he has here his watering can. So he's got the tap, he's turned on the tap. Do you remember we were talking about that in our phonics session the other week? And he turned on the tap and the water came out. He filled up the watering can just like we do in the nursery sometimes. And then he's watering, he's pouring the water. And it's coming out of the little holes on this part of the watering can, and that is called the rose. Interestingly, it's called the rose on the watering can, and the water comes out. It comes out gently, little droplets, and it waters the bean. On Wednesday, he watered the bean, watered the bean, watered the bean. On Wednesday, he watered the bean, he watered it. On Thursday, he dug and raked and sprayed and hoed it. So he used lots of different tools on Thursday. You can see the little robin is watching, and you can see all the tools that he's carrying here. He's carrying a hoe, which is a good tool to get rid of all the weeds. He's got a rake, and that's good to keep the soil nice and smooth. He's got some spray, so if he needs to spray on some plant food or something to get rid of the little insects, he can use the sprayer. And he looked after it really well. So he's digging. I don't know how, yes, there's his spade, so he can do some digging. And he dug, and he raked, and he sprayed, and he hoed it. So that was a very busy day on Thursday. I'm just going to sing about one of those in the song because there are lots of words. So I'm going to talk about how he hoed it using the hoe. On Thursday he hoed the bean, hoed the bean, hoed the bean. On Thursday he hoed the bean, he hoed it. Then on Friday he went out at night. And do you remember we had the story about My Pet Star, which had a lot of the actions happening at night time. So on Friday night, we can see the writing here, on Friday night, he picked all the slugs and snails. There's the snails. We've got the for slugs and the for snails. And he's picking up the slugs and the snails because they do like to eat the vegetables and the plants that people grow in the garden. So he's picking them up. He's going to take them away somewhere else so they cannot eat his little bean plant. The slugs are the ones with no shell, and the snails are the ones who have a shell on the back. So they're both kinds of mollusks, but the snails have the shell and the slugs, they don't have the shell. But they all have these little eyes. Their eyes are on stalks, so the little eyes are right on the end so they can hide their eyes away, or they can stretch them out on the stalks so that they can see. And he's collecting them. He's using his torch to shine to find them, and then he's putting them in a jar and taking them away. And up in the sky the moon is shining brightly. On Friday he picked up the slugs, picked up the slugs, picked up the slugs. On Friday he picked up the slugs, he picked them up. And on Saturday he even mowed it. Now I don't know if that was a really good idea. He used the lawnmower, and that's really for cutting the grass. So when the grass gets too long, you use your lawnmower to cut off the top so that it's nice and short again. And really, I don't know if mowing was a good idea because there's no grass to cut, and he's managed to break the cane that the beanstalk was going to climb up. Oh my goodness. So there he is. He's looking very happy. Look how smiley he is, and his whiskers are sticking out, and his eyes look very happy as well. He's enjoying doing his mowing. Fly away, little robin. I don't think the robin likes the lawnmower so much. And look, we can see the word there, Saturday. There's another S letter. On Saturday, he even mowed it. On Saturday, he mowed the bean, mowed the bean, mowed the bean. On Saturday, he mowed the bean, he mowed it. And then on Sunday, Jasper waited and waited and waited. So he's just doing waiting. He's got lots of tools here, but all he's doing on Sunday is waiting. And sometimes you have to wait quite a long time for a seed, a bean seed, or an apple seed, or a cress seed, or a carrot seed to start to grow. They don't grow straight away. You have to be patient and you have to wait. And sometimes Jasper's finding that a bit hard, I think. On Sunday he waited, he waited, he waited. On Sunday he waited all day long. He's getting a little bit impatient. So when Monday came around again, he dug it up. Oh dear, he is not being very patient. He is not waiting, and he's just digging up the bean. He's getting too fed up with it. And can you see he's tossing up the little clumps of soil into the air. He's even tossing up the worm that is helping the soil to be great for plants. It's eating up all the little bits in the soil, all the little old leaves and pieces of twig and pieces of leaf. And then its poo is really good for the soil. It helps the plants to grow. And it also makes lots of little holes, little burrows, which is good for the oxygen to come in and for the carbon dioxide. So there is the little robin watching and thinking, that's not a good idea, Jasper. If you dig it up, it's never going to grow. On Monday he dug it up, dug it up, dug it up. On Monday he dug it up, oh dear me. And then this is what he's thinking. Look, he's fed up with the bean. That bean will never make a beanstalk, said Jasper. So he thinks this bean is never going to grow into a beanstalk. But he only gave it 1 week. That's not very long. Look, the little robin is perching on his paw again. But a long time later, look at what has happened. He's tossed the bean away, but it has started to grow. Started to suck up the water and to swell, and then the roots are growing down, and the stalk is growing up, and then the leaves are coming, and the little tendrils, the curly tendrils that will go around the cane to help it grow straight. And the long time later, the beanstalk is growing taller and taller and taller and taller. Can you see how it's getting taller and taller and taller and taller and taller? Look, really tall. It's so tall you can't even fit it on the page. It's going right up above the page. And the little robin is looking up at the top of the beanstalk. It did. It was on a Thursday, I think. And you can see there, Jasper's still having a look at his book, Jack and the Beanstalk. And out of the window now, the beanstalk is growing up even past his window, high into the sky. And the little robin there is pointing with his wing and saying, look, Jasper, look how high that beanstalk has grown now. And he's still thinking about Jack and the Beanstalk story. I wonder if that's given him an idea. Now Jasper is looking for giants. So he is wondering whether at the top of this beanstalk, just like at the top of the beanstalk in the Jack and the Beanstalk story, there might be a giant's castle, and there might be a giant. He's looking up and he's having a think. And here he is. You can just see his tail, and he's climbing up the beanstalk, and he's going to look up and see if he can find a giant. I wonder if he will. And Jasper lived happily ever after. And that's the end of the story about Jasper's beanstalk. Jasper's beanstalk, it did grow, it did grow, it did grow. Jasper's beanstalk, it did grow at the very end. I wonder if he'll find a giant, find a giant, find a giant. I wonder if he'll find a giant when he climbs to the top. We don't know. We have to wait and see. Bye-bye for now. See you again soon.